Call, and we are live there. I wonder, is there a better place? Is there a better place for all of this? I wish so let's see here. I am going to move this over here. All right. So let's see. That's a little bit better. So I'm like facing one thing. Awesome. We are live, and I need to press this record button. Boom. Awesome. So, what are we doing today? What are we talking about? What I need to do is I need to do several things. I need to, I need to make content. Is there a meeting ID? Joshua, you should just be on right now. Today's Wednesday. Joshua, just join. So right now, I am streaming live on TikTok, my private school community, Facebook private page, Facebook group page, YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as Twitch. So if you see me like looking around, it's because I'm streaming on multiple places at one time. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about monetizing your ideas. And maybe that's what I'll change the name to. Monetize your ideas instead of monetizing your content, because I think that might be vague or whatever. So the most popular niches on social media are fitness, finance, travel, beauty, business, pets, food, sustainability. I think those are usually the big ones, right? If you create content at all, you should be able to monetize it. And one of the things that you've got to understand is subscriber count, follower count, that doesn't matter anymore. I am live now. Follower count, subscriber count, none of that stuff matters. It mattered 10 years ago, but if you're on TikTok, for example, people can't see how many subscribers you have unless they go to your bio. On YouTube, I don't think you can see how many people subscribe or follow you. They only consume your content. And what you should be doing is figuring out first of all, figure out who you're talking to. Who is your niche? A lot of people will say you shouldn't be your niche or you don't need a niche, but that's wrong. And ironically enough, the people that tell you that you don't need a niche actually all have niches. I want to say that every single day. I want to scream it from the rooftops because it's one of those little gotchas that most people don't realize it's happening. But what I want you to do is comment the content type that you make. Comment your ideas. For example, the biggest niches out there are fitness, finance, travel, beauty, business, pets, food. So cooking, for example. And what I want to do is I want to give you real ideas that you can implement today. You could create this weekend and potentially monetize. I don't want you to rely on the TikTok shop. I don't want you to rely on the YouTube partner program. I don't want you to rely on some of these other things because they're so inconsistent. Um, you can be kicked out of these platforms. You can be kicked off of these platforms. The CPMS are really low, especially on TikTok. The CPMS or the amount of money that you'll make RPMs is so low that it's really not even worth it. Or you have to try and go viral like with all of your content. And the chances of you going viral are less and less because there's more and more people creating content and essentially more and more people creating the same content. And what you should be doing, the other issue with worrying about brand deals and sponsorships and all this stuff is you wind up starting to look and sound like everyone else. But if you want to stand out, if you want to maximize your revenue, if you want to make as much money as possible, you should have your own digital products because then you can talk to that digital product or service. I stand on it. That's one of the things that I firmly believe. So comment down below whatever it is that you want to be known for, whatever type of content you create. I'll give you an example. And I think I've used this example before. If you are in the cooking niche, you could actually create a you could create a 30-day meal planner for cooking for one, cooking for singles, right? One thing that you can think about is think about the problems, examples of digital products, please. So cooking for singles. One way to think about it is to think about a problem that someone has, and your your digital product would be that solution. So cooking for singles, for example, it's saying invalid meeting ID. I'm not sure. Um, so cooking for singles, what problems are the cause of that? Most cookbooks out there will show you how to cook for a family of 4 or 5. But if you create a digital product where you're teaching how singles can cook for themselves, it'll help save them money. It'll help save them frustration. It'll help save them time. Because if you have ever been single and you tried to go to like allrecipes.com and you cooked, you have a bunch of leftover food. And then that food goes to waste. You throw that food away or it gets moldy in your refrigerator, and now you've wasted a bunch of money. If you do like a cooking for one planner and you give them a shopping list of things that they need to go to the grocery store and buy, it saves them time. It helps them avoid frustration, and that's what we want. So whenever you're coming up with a digital product idea, think about, how can it save my target audience time? How can it help my target audience avoid frustration? How can it save them or help them make more money? For example, if you're in the pet niche, one of the biggest problems out there are puppies just peeing in the house. So, what if you created a scheduler or a guide to get them to stop peeing in the house? Teach new puppy owners how to get their pets to stop peeing in the house, right? What does that solve? That solves the frustration of maybe having to get up at night to let their dog out. It saves the money having to replace the carpet or the floor, or even like the smell that sits in the house because the dog pees in the house. So think about it that way. Your digital product is a solution to a common problem that your target audience has. Think about it like that. What solution can I create? How can I help people? Um, how can I help people with whatever problem that they're going? My target audience. Another idea is, if you're in the wedding niche. I always talk about weddings because I think it's something everybody is aware of. Weddings are stressful. When you think about weddings, you've got to worry about like the entire wedding planning. But inside of the wedding planning, you've got to send out save the date templates. You've got to worry about like the little place cards or placards in front of everyone's seat. You've got to worry about, if you have a destination wedding, getting the destination and the flights and all that stuff. If you are doing a wedding locally, you've got to secure a venue. You might have to secure a church. You might have to, in addition, my niche is a little deep. What's your niche? Comment your niche and I'll give you some examples. With a wedding, you've got to get the bridesmaids. They've got to get their dresses. The groomsmen got to get fitted for their dresses, their tuxedos. You've got to make sure that you have a budget. Hey, it looks like you were able to join, Joshua. How's it going? Um, Good. And so, again, think of your digital product as a solution for a common problem that your audience has. If you think about it that way, how can I help solve their problem quickly? Coping with a covert narcissist. Jennifer was on the call yesterday, and her niche is kind of similar. She was talking about how people can escape or recover from a narcissistic relationship. So it's kind of simple. What you can do, a couple things I think. You could do a guided journal. I think you might be able to do like daily affirmations. Um, you can, I think you could also probably do a workbook of some sort. But think about it like this, Donnie. What problems does your target audience have? Okay. Um, and what does dealing with a covert narcissist mean? Like, are you interpreting signs? Are you interpreting symptoms? Are you interpreting their communication? Maybe nonverbal or verbal communication. That could be a digital product. Helping your target audience understand what they mean when they say this, right? And I talked about this What I said this a few weeks ago, and it didn't get a lot of response. But if you are in a relation, if you're trying to find a significant other, let's say you're a man pursuing women, what you could create is you could create conversation starters like DMs, right? Because let's say you're a 30-year-old man who, or a 40-year-old man who is only used to dating before the internet, and you don't know what to say without coming off like a creep or a weirdo. You come across a relationship content creator, and that content creator says, "Hey, I want to help you find a relationship. I want to help you, find a significant other. I put together these conversation starters so that you aren't awkward or weird, right?" So again, think about common problems that your audience has. What challenges are they facing when they're trying to find success, right? And when you do it that way, what the simple thing that you guys can do is, first of all, once you define your target audience, write down all of the problems that your target audience has, big or small. Write them down. Um, for example, I help content creators monetize their content. Common problems: they don't know what to they don't know what tools to use. That's a problem. They don't know different digital products that are out there. That's a problem. They don't know what type of content to create. That's a problem. They don't know tech. I think I already said that. They don't know how to connect their stories to their niche. These are all little problems that I could create content about, on, with. And, I could create a workbook helping people put together a list of the tools that they need in order to monetize their content. I could show them step by step how to use Canva to create a digital product, right? How simple is that? I could just create a $7, $17 how to use Canva to create 20 different digital products. And people will buy that because there's content creators out there that want to create a digital product, but they don't know where to begin. They don't know how to get started. They don't know the tech stack that they need. So I want you to start thinking about it that way. Let's say you're in the gaming niche. You could create something for streamers. I'll give you a perfect example. This goes for gaming or tech. Right now, if I wanted to stream my PlayStation to Twitch, which I did in the past, it's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to figure out all of the different streaming, right? I want to stream my PlayStation 5 to my Twitch and to my YouTube and to my all of my different systems here. I'm going to have to go watch 10 YouTube videos to learn how to do that. Instead, a content creator could create a course, a mini course, where he shows me how to do it in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That saves me time. It saves me frustration because I wanted to do it down here. I had it upstairs. I wanted to do it down here, but I was like, ugh, I don't want to waste an hour to set up a stream, right? I'm streaming on Twitch right now, but I don't want to I don't want to bring my PlayStation down because that's going to be an hour that I have got to waste. Let me know if that makes sense, right? In addition, if you're a streamer, you can help people understand the different types of cameras and which is the best camera, and how to connect OBS, which is a software. You can let them know the best microphone to use. You can give them a good, better, best microphone and computer and headphones. These are all things that streamers, and then mobile streaming. What software or what camera, how does someone mobile stream? There's a lot of people that just walk around and stream all day. How are they doing that? If you are a mobile streamer, you can create a digital product teaching people how to start streaming on the go. I don't even know what it's called. How to stream while walking down the streets of New York. Again, think of your niche, the people that you want to help. Then write down 10 or 15 problems that they're going through. And then look and say, which one is the easiest and the fastest that I could put together? Somebody could put together a streaming planner or a streaming blueprint, a streaming workbook that would help me, and I would buy it. because like I said, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste an hour trying to stream and then it doesn't work right away, of course, and then I got to go back and figure it out, and then it's an endless cycle. I want to be able to sit down, turn on my PlayStation, it just connect and work, and then go about my day. Right? Let me know if that makes sense. If you are in the beauty niche, yes, okay, great, Joshua. If you are in the beauty niche, you've got lots of things that you can do. You could do a skincare routine tracker. So think about it like this: skincare routine tracker. There are people out there that have bad skin, oily, patchy skin, blotches, whatever it is. If you've got great skin, you can simply share your routine and how you went from bad skin to good skin. This is what you do on day one. These are the products that you buy, and then you can even be an affiliate for the products that you have them buy, and then you can make additional money. So I'll lay this out. Let's say let me just rephrase this for men. Okay, so um, I could do a men's skincare routine. On day one, we have terrible skin, but by day 30, we're gonna have perfect skin with no blemishes. We're gonna have perfect skin with, it's gonna be shiny and glossy and glowing. So what we do is we tell them on day one, you go get these products. Go get special face lotion. Go get special face wash. Go get special razors. Go get all this stuff. And then you're an affiliate for those things. To save you time, I put an affiliate link to everything that you need. You can say, you don't have to buy these, but this is what I use. Because they've come to you, because they trust you, they're going to buy those things. Okay, great. Day one, we've got all those things. Day two, we're going to shave. We're going to shave everything. Great. Later on, also on day two, we're going to wash our face with this soap, and we're going to have a special mask that we put on our face for 20 minutes. Okay, great. Day three, this is what we do. Day four, you know what I mean? We lay out what they can do step by step. And after 30 days, as long as they follow the directions, they should have clear skin like I do. That's a digital product. And all you're doing is you're listing out what to do every single day. You can create that in Google Drive or Google Docs and save it as a PDF. You can create it in Canva if you wanted to. You could make it into a video course and sell that video course. I mean, these are real simple things that you could put together. Let me know if that makes sense. So give me comment down below what your niche is, what your target audience is, who you want to help, and I'll give you some ideas. I'll give you a few ideas on different types of digital products that you could create. Or even if you want to, just list a problem that your target audience has, a common problem. Um, if you want to, you could do like no bake recipes. What are the best no bake recipes out there? And you include the ingredients that they need. Now, again, the pushback that I always get is, who's going to buy this stuff? This stuff is available on the internet. People that have consumed your content and they see you as a leader and a mentor will buy these things from you. Okay? They trust you. Through your content, they trust you. They trust your knowledge, your skills, and experience. That's why they'll buy from you. They'll also buy from you because you have put everything that they need in a very logical, ordered, step by step manner. Could they go over to ChatGPT and get this stuff? Yeah, if they A, know about ChatGPT, B, if they know the questions to put in or the questions to ask ChatGPT, they can go to ChatGPT, but most of them don't want to take the time to go ask questions and go back and forth and get frustrated and give up. Most people, when they have a pressing problem, they don't want to spend hours on YouTube trying to figure it out. Like, going to YouTube is a gamble. You're going to roll the dice and you hope the person on YouTube has your answer. Oftentimes, they might have part of the answer, but then you got to go back and you got to go watch another 4 of their videos to find the complete answer. But through your content, and this works for YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, this works everywhere. People will start to see your content, they'll start to engage with your content, and then they're going to see you as a leader. They're gonna see you as a local expert. You don't have to be an expert, but they're gonna start seeing you as kind of like a local expert, and then they'll buy it from you, right? Any questions so far?
Yeah.
Yes. What's your question?
I mean, I
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, you can. Mhm. So pick one. You can use Canva. If you wanna be really cute, if you wanna be very, aesthetically pleasing, you wanna be really creative, use Canva. If you're just trying to get a minimum viable product done, use Google Docs, and then you can export your Google Doc as a PDF. But if you wanna create let's say you're create what's that? You go to Google Docs and you just write in it like a normal Word document. And then once you're done with it, you export it as a PDF. Like there's a little thing in there you can go file download and it'll give you a bunch of different options. One of those options is a PDF. Now, when it comes to creating your digital product, the what I like to do is I like to write an outline. Um, your outline is basically going to be kind of like a table of contents. It's going to outline where they are and where you're going to and where you want them to go. And then inside the outline is going to be many steps for them to take. So, like when we talk about the men's facial care routine, right now they've got oily, patchy skin. That's where they are. By day 30, you want them to have clear skin. And then every day is a step that you want them to take. And then you might include in there the why you're doing it this way. Um, and then, of course, the how. So, like day one, you're going to go buy all these products. Why? Because we're going to use these products every single day. On day one, you're going to wash your face 3 times. Why are you washing your face 3 times? Because washing your face once is good, but it only gets about 25% of the dirt off. Washing it twice is better, but it only gets about 65% of the dirt off. Washing your face 3 times is best because it gets 95% of the dirt off. That's why we wash it 3 times per day. Does that make sense? Good. So yeah, you want to include the how and the why inside of your digital product, and then you know, move on to the next thing. Save it as a PDF, and then what you can do is you can um, there's a couple things that you can do. If you're using Gbolt systems, you can upload your file into the media storage. I think it's called media storage or file storage or data storage. And then once they buy from you on the thank you page, you can provide a link to that digital product so that they can get it right away. Or you can provide a link to the digital product inside of the first email, the congratulations email. But yeah, so that's essentially what you would do step by step. Mm, close that. Uh, okay, good. Well, they essentially do the same thing, so just pick one and use it. Stripe or PayPal. You can do both if you want. Either one will work. Um, all right, so let's get back over to some digital product ideas. Comment what you create content about, comment your niche or whatever it is that you want to be known for, and I'll give you a few digital product ideas. What else? What do we got here? One thing you could do if you are in finance, you could just sell a credit score improvement workbook. One thing that you could do is my mom passed away back in December. It'll be a year in 2 months. Death and dying is a big business. It's a very expensive business. What you could put together, not you, but what someone could put together is a packet of information outlining every single thing that someone needs to check and submit when someone passes away. You could do this for everything included or required for a funeral, because a funeral is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You could do that for like checking bank accounts, checking with creditors. There's like, so one of the things that you have to do is you have to file. I forgot the form. There's a bunch of different forms that you've got to file. And when you file these forms, you're sending a notification to their creditors and all that stuff. You could create a digital product where you're outlining everything that needs to be done to close your family, your parents' estate. Because a lot of people, we just don't know that. We're not taught, all of the things that are required. Like who all needs death certificates? One, like for example, here's a good idea. Here's a good example. You've got to contact their cable company. You've got to contact the electric company and their cell phone company. You know what I mean? Like if you outline almost every single thing that they need to do, like a checklist to make sure everything's closed and canceled, that saves time and frustration and potentially saves money. Yeah, death and dying is a huge business. If you outline and explain the concepts related to death and dying, that would help people, because you're kind of hit with all of this at one time, and then you've got you've got the funeral director saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Do you want this, 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 and this?" And you're just like, your head's kind of spinning as it is. But yeah, if you create content about death and dying, or you've gone through one of those traumatic situations, you can help other people make it through that as well. Help them make it through faster, easier, with less frustration. It's morbid, but it's something that we went through, and you're going through old paperwork and you're trying to figure out, you're trying to figure out life insurance, and you're trying to figure all this stuff at one time, all while grieving. It can be kind of overwhelming. So that's a simple thing that you could put together, and this is all just like based off of experience. What else? I think we talked about beauty. You could do traveling. If you're in the travel niche, you can come up with something like solo travel, a guide for solo safe travel, or traveling to different locations safely. Like for example, let's say you're going to Italy. You could sell a digital product where you give an itinerary on the best places to visit, when the best time to visit those places are, how to safely travel through Italy by yourself. These are all different digital product ideas that you could create and sell and potentially make money. Again, think about all of the problems that your target audience is currently going through, and then ask yourself, how can I help solve their problem fast? What's the fastest, easiest way to help them get a result? And when you do that, people will buy from you if you can save them time, save them money, or help them avoid frustration. So ask yourself, is the digital product that I'm creating, Is it going to help save my target audience time? Is it going to help them save money? Is it going to help them avoid frustration? If you can do one of those things, you've got a good idea. If you've got if you can do two of those things, you've got a winning digital product. If you can do all three of those, you have a winning digital product that will sell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is really cool. And then once you have a digital product, you no longer have to worry about trying to go viral, or what I like to say, dancing for dollars. If you're on TikTok, you don't have to dance for dollars anymore. You don't have to jump on every latest trend. You don't have to beg brands for brand deals and sponsorships. You simply will just create content for your target audience, attract them to you, and then you create a digital product to sell. They buy that digital product from you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It really is. It's not easy. It's simple. It's not easy. And it's not easy because you've never done it before. Most likely. If you're watching this, you probably never done it before. Um, Everything about making money online is really, really simple. It's not easy because of the execution. It's not easy because you're going to do a bunch of work up front and not get paid for it. That's the hard part, right? Doing all of this, creating content, building out a digital product, you're not getting paid for it right away. However, you have the opportunity to get paid back over weeks, months, and years. That's the trade-off. We've been conditioned to expect that once we take an action, there's an immediate result. For example, you go to work, you know that on Friday you're going to get a paycheck. But with a digital product or even with content creation, you might put in a bunch of work. You might make a bunch of videos. You might make a digital product. You might make a sales page, and you might not see a check from it for 3 months. And then when you do receive a check, it's $3 or $7. And you're like, oh, is this worth it? But because it's a digital product and because you're creating content, the digital product and the content live on the internet all day and all night, and it has an opportunity to pay you back over weeks, months, and years. That's the hard part with starting an online business, being a content creator, making money online. You're doing a bunch of this work up front, you're not getting paid for it. And if you've worked a job, like I started working for my grandpa when I was 9, cutting grass. He owned like 2 apartments. My first job was at Burger King when I was 14. I worked the like the fried foods, which I should have been working because I was 14. Um, I worked at Burger King. After a week or 2 weeks, you get a paycheck, and you can see on there the hours that you worked, how much your wage is, and then hours times your hourly income. You see that. But when you're creating a digital product and you're doing an online business and creating content, you don't see all of the hours that you put in. And if you did the math, you did the hours you put in and you multiplied it or divided it by the money that you make after the first month, you're going to be frustrated. You'll be like, man, I'm only making 38 cents an hour, right? If you went about it that way. But that 38 cents an hour can turn into $300 an hour because you can continuously create content and your content and digital products are working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Does that make sense? And that's a tough lesson to learn. It's a hard lesson to learn. Um, but yeah. Anyway, comment your digital product, comment what you want to be known for. Comment the type of content you create, and I'll give you some ideas. Yeah, so I'm live on I've got a bunch of YouTube accounts. I'm live on one of my backup YouTube accounts. Um, I'm also live on Facebook. What's that? I'm no, I I'm live on Alston Godbolt Shorts, where that's where I upload my TikTok shorts. I'm also live on my Facebook business page, my Facebook personal page. I'm live on LinkedIn, and I'm also live on Twitch and TikTok. Mm, yep. Yeah. So right now I'm live on school. That's how you're seeing me. I'm live on TikTok. That's why I've got my phone right here. And I'm also live on two Facebook groups. So that's four. I'm live on Twitch. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm live on LinkedIn. Then, if I wanted to, I've got my iPad here. I could probably go live on Instagram too. I just thought about that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, where I'll go live. I'll add another platform and just keep adding them. But comment down below whatever it is that you want to be known for, the type of content you create, or whatever it is that you want to be known for. Uh, I gotta close this one. So other things that I am doing, I don't know if I told you guys this, but while doing this, I'm trying to upload Pinterest pins because one of the great ways to get more traffic and attention is with Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. Pinterest is used globally. It gets billions of searches per month, and you can simply repurpose your content over to Pinterest, and you can drive traffic to your YouTube channel or TikTok or blog or even a sales page. Um, so if you are looking for new ways to get more attention, use Pinterest. People that people that love Pinterest actually hate when I say that because they say you're the reason why Pinterest has gone downhill. Because what I did, and I made a video about this on my main YouTube channel, is you can go and find popular Pinterest pins in your niche, take a screenshot or save the image of the Pinterest pin, and then go over to ChatGPT and say, create a prompt to model this Pinterest pin. And it will actually make a similar looking pin. But then you say change up the color schemes or make it unique to yourself. And so you have created popular looking Pinterest pins, but you have it go to your platforms, which is really cool. Um, it's a simple way to get more attention. Let's see here. Yeah, so the way that I use it is that with Pinterest, you have to send people to either a blog post, a YouTube video, or a landing page. You cannot directly link to an affiliate offer. And one of the ways that I use Pinterest is to bring them to other forms of media, other platforms where they can learn. My primary platforms are video content. So I'm going to use Pinterest to bring them back to YouTube or use Pinterest to bring them back to TikTok so that they can see the type of content that I create. And that's where I have most of my content. Um, it the main channel or the backup channel? No, I'm sorry, TikTok. On TikTok, I'm Alston Godbolt everywhere. So just type in, I think it's Alston.Godbolt on TikTok, or just type in Alston Godbolt, and you should be able to find me. Mm. But, using other platforms to feed your primary platforms is a good way for you to grow. Um, it's a good way to grow quickly. Ooh, it looks like, okay. Oh, okay. So I primarily I would say my main platform is just YouTube because that's where I have the most content and the most followers. Um, and that's where I've been the longest. But if you're just getting started, just pick one and go all in with one, and then add in more over time. Don't feel like you've got to be everywhere immediately because that'll be overwhelming. Yep. So I would say the biggest problem that I have when it comes to physical products is the overhead and the time. So I also sell stuff on Amazon, Amazon FBA. In order for me to get to Amazon FBA, for my product to get from idea to actual Amazon listing can be like 4 or 5 months because first you got to come up with an idea. Then you got to go out and find suppliers. Then you got to have the suppliers ship you a sample, right? And so the suppliers most likely are going to be in China. It takes at least a week or two for you to get those products. Great. You find the product, you look at it, you find a couple samples that you like. Now you got to go back and forth with them on pricing, on how to make it different than other people. They you finally and they're on different time zones, right? They're probably, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning while I'm here at 11:46 PM. Okay, great. So that takes a week to go back and forth. You finally figure out the pricing and you start production. The production maybe takes a week or two, depending on how many you're ordering. Now, if you're selling the physical products on your own, are you going to have the physical products here, like in your house? That takes up more space. So that's a problem. Hmm. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So I misunderstood you. If you're going to do affiliate marketing through physical products, that's fine. Why I would prefer digital products is because the commission's usually a little bit more. Amazon, for example, they pay up to a 10% commission on physical products. However, if you're promoting a digital product like G-Bolt Systems, the commission's 40%. So the commission is going to be significantly different and higher because the overhead is different, right? That's I should have clarified, but yeah, um, I don't have a problem with you being an affiliate. What? Mhm. Yep. You would compare it to other sales funnel builders out there. You would talk about the features. What I would also do too is offer bonuses to people to incentivize them to make a purchase. Is what I would also do too. So in general, the best bonuses are time, spending more time with people. You say, hey, look, if you buy my software or if you use my affiliate link, I'll spend an hour with you doing a workshop, or I'll meet with you one on one. One of the best bonuses that I ever put together was simply just doing a 30-minute call where I answered questions. And that was really powerful because people don't really jump on the phone anymore. And so, like I said, you come up with a bonus that is relevant to your niche or to your audience, but usually doing time or maybe even doing like a course or something like that that's relevant to them can be a good opportunity. Um, so I don't think that offering Gbolt systems is going to work out well with your niche of Bitcoin. Because it's called kind of an audience mismatch. You gotta ask yourself, would people that are learning more about Bitcoin, would that do they need G-Bolt systems? And most likely they probably don't. Um, yeah, that is actually up to you. I'd recommend picking a direction and staying with it. Because I remember a couple years ago, you were talking about cards? Oh, poker. That's right. I think we were talking about poker. Pick a direction and stick with it. Stick with it for at least 6 months. So if you've been reading a bunch about Bitcoin, teach people what you're learning, teach people what you know, but stick with it for at least 6 months. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Good. Good. Let's see here. Let's drag this over. Alright, so we've been on for about 49 minutes. What other questions do you have? Are you there? I might have lost them. So I think because I'm streaming in so many places at one time, uh my internet is kind of sputtering, but hopefully, hopefully. No, so one of the most frustrating things is where I live, we only have Spectrum, and with Spectrum, the most we get is like a gig download, but like 20 megabytes upload. With that being said, we are supposed to have fiber. We're supposed to have T-Mobile fiber and what's the other one? Frontier fiber. They're supposed to be installed over the summer. They still haven't been installed. Now I'm being told that it's in November, so later on this month. So I've been hoping and wishing and itching to upgrade to fiber because it's symmetrical. I would like to get the 2 gigabyte plan. Is it 2 gigabytes? Yes, the 2 gigabyte plan, where it's 2 gigabytes down and 2 gigabytes upload, which is really important when you're uploading content and when you're streaming. You know, yep, yep. And that could be a digital product, a guide teaching people how to upload and download faster. Um, because there's a lot of people like me frustrated with the time that it takes. Like when, for example, I just a YouTube video just went live. I uploaded that video into YouTube probably 2 hours ago at this point, and it just went live. And that same video over on Spotify still isn't live yet. It's still not ready. In fact, it says error. So I've got to re-upload that because of the problems with the internet. And now it's gonna take I'm uploading it now, it's gonna take another, hour and a half for it to be ready. Um, so yeah, but I everything can be a everything could be a digital product. Like, for example, right now, I am as I'm talking to you, I am creating Pinterest pins using Leonardo AI. That could be a digital product. I could help other content creators get more views with Pinterest with my step-by-step roadmap because it solves a problem. It cuts out the frustration of having to go try and figure this out on my own. I have spent the time and energy figuring it out to save other people time so I could turn around and sell it. Let's see. Yep. And you don't even have to give expert advice. Just give your advice based on your knowledge, skills, and experience. And people will trust you because it's not expert advice. Problem with experts is they oftentimes they talk at too high of a level. They're talking too smart. And if you can take complex terms and make them simple to understand, people will appreciate you and potentially buy from you. Uh, tomorrow, so tomorrow I actually have a field trip. I asked my wife, I asked my wife earlier. I said, "What field trips do I have this month?" Because I go on every field trip with my kids. Um, so I've got a field trip tomorrow. I will be going live on Friday, but they have a half day, so I don't know what time that'll be. and then I have that live webinar web class on Friday. Normally the web class is on Thursday, but because I got the field trip on Thursday, the web class will be on Friday at 10 o'clock Chicago time. Yep. Chicago 10. Mhm. Uh, just post your journey. Post what you've accomplished, anything that's holding you back, frustrations, roadblocks. Just post your journey. It doesn't have to be anything high level or even really intelligent or coherent. Just post what you're going through. Hmm. Let's see. We've been on for 56 minutes. Copy. What else? Hmm. Hmm. So it's print on demand through Spring. There's a company called Teespring or Spring. They merged recently. But it's print on demand. They only get printed when someone purchases them. Which is nice because again, I'm not a big fan of inventory, having a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of boxes. I don't even print the Teespring handles all of that. So I make the logo or whatever, put it over there and walk away. And occasionally they'll send me some money. That's kind of how it works out. Mhm. Yeah, so my workflow is really simple. I'll make a video, and then once the video is rendered, I'll upload that video to YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and then I'll actually make a blog post out of it too. It's the exact same video. I upload them. I upload at the exact same time. I use the exact same description. All of it's the exact same. But the reason why I do that is because not everybody is on YouTube or not everybody's on Facebook and not everybody's on Spotify. And since Spotify allows for video, why not upload it there? Yep, yep, good. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for hopping on. I think I'm gonna actually wrap up for today. Do you have any other questions before I let you go? All right. In about 10 or 15 minutes, the recording will be up on school if you want to check it out. So you can like play it back as much as you want. If not, we will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, Friday. Yeah, I might try and go live tomorrow, but it'll be later in the day. Like I said, we got the field trip. Uh, uh, Sounds good. Have a good one. Bye. All right, so we will end that. We'll go back to school. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll hit that. We'll get out of there. And